Like to just, we live in a very impatient world where people want everything. It's like the internet. We want it within 2 seconds, and 2 seconds is not fast enough. And in the practice of meditation, the kind of inner work that we do, one of the most important elements is having patience and understanding that no matter what your situation is in life, it took a lifetime to get there. It's not going to go away in 3 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. So it takes patience of a continuum of working on oneself to truly get to a place inside where all of these things can start transforming themselves into a more conscious way of approaching one's life. Patience is essential. With anything, I mean, if you want a good wine, you have to have patience. You have to have patience if you want a good wine. So the bouquet, Isabel, I have you here twice. I don't know what Isabel, I got you 2 pictures of you here. I don't know why. Anyway, that really is the key to all of this, is learning how, to be patient in terms of developing an inner life, learning how that when it's a step-by-step process of inner unfolding of consciousness, then the process becomes permanent. It's not something that comes and goes. It's not something you just turn yourself on with, and then, a day later, it's completely forgotten. It's building an inner life. I mean, it's like an apple on a tree. It takes time for it to mature, to ripen, so that one can truly eat it, and it's delicious. I don't think anybody ever said it better than what my teacher said. It takes 9 months to have a baby. It takes 1 second to die. And I think that was so profound when he told me that, because it really made me understand that what we're doing is giving birth to ourselves, to a higher level of our inner self that's connected to God, that's more capable of being happy in the world. And it takes time to give birth. So we all have to have patience. Patience is one of the keys in the development of a spiritual life. And don't think that, all the problems are going to go away, in 5 days and 10 classes. It doesn't. It takes time to gradually build an inner life that is strong enough to where you can consciously transform all of these things into a very powerful chakra system that connects one to God and enables one to live consciously in the world. So please, everyone, try and work really deep inside. We'll have a meditation class. And after the class is over with, if anyone has questions, I will really try to answer them. Everyone, does anyone have a question I'd like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes.
If you could speak to, I have difficulty feeling gratitude, and it is very different from periods where I feel a lot of it, and I appreciate very small things, but now lately this 1 week, 2 week, I just, it's like my heart has shut down, and it's frustrating for me. I feel I can connect well with my stomach, with my heart. It feels like, but my heart is just, I just can't open it up lately.
You know, I started this session today with having patience, you know, and when your heart has been closed most of your life and there's been difficulty experiencing gratitude, it takes time to get strong enough to keep your heart open. You have to have patience with yourself, and you got to do the inner work. You got to continue to build a hara, strong inner foundation, and then just remind yourself how much there is in life to be grateful for. You know, I mean, even simply these classes, that you can come to these classes 3 times a week, that I take my time to do this with all of you and share this incredible work that I've learned in my life. It's something to be grateful for. And you have to remind yourself. You have to really go into your heart and say, you know, I have many, many things that truly I am grateful for, even if it's just that we breathe, we're alive. There's the potential for change as long as we're alive. That really is the answer to that. And then you have patience and time. And once you build that kind of system that I keep talking about, gratitude is not a problem. Once you recognize how far you've come in your life by just looking back at the way you were 6 months ago, how you are today, the changes that have taken place in your life. I mean, that in itself should just open your heart. Problem is, we forget. We forget. We get lost in our minds. We get lost in our heads. There's no gratitude in the head. There's just conflict and tension and rationalizing everything. And that keeps us from feeling grateful. So it takes time, it takes patience, it takes inner work to develop gratitude, which doesn't go away. And once you begin to taste that energy of God, that energy of spirit, and you realize how it works for you in your life, there's no problem with being grateful for everything: a drink of water, food you eat, the bed you sleep in, the clothes you wear, your parents, your friends, your relatives, whatever it is, you know. Life is our teacher, and you've got to be grateful for your teacher to learn anything in this world. I mean, I hope that's clear, you know. I mean, I don't know how to make it any clearer.
Yeah,
and
because
the continuous doing it, you know, not, oh, I got it today, and then you forget about it, and 20 minutes later, you're back in your head again. You got to consciously do these things and remind yourself we are creatures of forgetfulness. And especially when we live in this magical world, you know, yeah, the world is pretty crazy. But at the same time, if you can open your heart, if you can stay centered inside, your mind is quite, you know, it's not so crazy, because everything that manifests in life is a manifestation of God. And it's all there to teach us something about ourselves that we need to learn to grow. So even the most negative things, we live in the strangest times today, you know, but even these times have afforded, at least me, an opportunity to do things that have really helped me to grow in my life. And hopefully all of you through doing these classes. I mean, just to be grateful for that is, I know it fills me with a lot of gratitude. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Could you talk about staying centered throughout the day? I struggle with staying centered. Like I can like be by myself, be centered, like feel energy buzzing inside. I'm like, and then I meet someone, and I'm like, hi. I just move out of my center.
Look, that meeting somebody is very important, because that person is telling you that you haven't yet got that balance in yourself. That person is your teacher. So you go back and do your work. I haven't gotten grounded enough yet to be able to meet this particular person and stay centered. Yeah. So they're your teacher. Don't get crazy with that. Okay, they're teaching me that I need to work on myself. So be grateful to that person.
Yeah.
I mean it. Because, it happens to me too. I meet people and, oh God, I got to deal with these situations sometimes. And they just remind me, Stuart, you haven't arrived yet. God is perfect. The rest of us have to continue to grow. The rest of us have to deal with imperfection every single day of our lives. And the most horrible state of affairs, if you always think you got to be perfect, because you are going to go through hell in your life if you think you have to be perfect all the time. But if you simply approach everything as your teacher, what am I learning from this person? Family is great for that. Relationships, marriages are just fantastic for that. Learning what you have to do to love unconditionally from another person is essential in life. God provides all these things, and they're all steps on a ladder that gets us to spiritual enlightenment. And I think it's all very important to learn. And when you begin to recognize life being this way, it's a whole different world you live in. It's no longer you versus the world. It's you embracing the world. It becomes a different life. You turn on the news and you listen to all that crap that goes on, and all it is people trying to inflict their viewpoints on other people, It doesn't work. Nobody learns from anybody else. Nobody says, teach me. I am right. And then you have all this craziness. But, what am I going to learn from you? How I can grow in my life? The world changes. It's a very different place we live in. And all it is the change that takes place in us that makes the world different. It's amazing.
Yeah. I have like a question. I'm trying to formulate it because, I'm sitting my days, we're meditating here. I'm doing meditation in the morning and evening, watching Rudi, and I'm having deep mystical experiences, actually, almost on a daily basis.
Good.
Like the picture moving, energy, and all of this stuff, and it
doesn't sound like a problem to me.
No, it is not a problem. It is not a problem, but it's something. There's an intensity. I think I'm fearing this intensity, like being in the world centered, and because I've never done that before. I have a tendency to be very.
Don't walk around thinking you're a failure. You have grown since I've known you. I've seen enormous growth. So don't have to think that you're a failure. That's a way of defeating everything that's taken place in your life, and you shouldn't do that to yourself. It's a silly thing to do to yourself. You're not a failure. None of us are failures. We all just learn from everything to grow. We all learn from our mistakes, the things we don't do right. You know, that's the way to approach life. Not, oh my God, I made a mistake. And then you spend the next 10 years being guilty, you know, tearing yourself apart because you did something that you shouldn't have done, you know. I mean, I used to teach in prisons, you know, and I remember one of the things I used to tell people in the prisons, yesterday, the past is no longer exists. Everything that you become in life depends upon what you do in this moment. And anything you did in the past, I don't care how terrible your crime was. And I had people in my class that were murderers. One woman, I don't know, I can't even, it's so complicated what she did. I was so terrible. And I used to tell them that it doesn't exist anymore. You've got to do your life in this moment. And if you do your life in this moment, anything you do in the past will fall away. It'll fall away. And boy, did that ring with those people. I mean, it really, like, they lit up like light bulbs. There's somebody to sit there to tell them that the crime they committed, you know, is meaningless today. Has meaning is, what are they doing with their life at this moment? And we're no different than those people. We carry all these things in us. And we don't realize that none of it is relevant anymore. Only relevancy is, are we living in the moment? Are we building our life today? Tomorrow doesn't exist. Future has no, it's ridiculous. The future is today becoming tomorrow. We got to do today well. I mean, I don't even ask anybody about their past. I am not interested. You know, the only thing I'm interested in, are they doing work today? Are they working on themselves in this moment? That's the only thing that interests me. Where people come from, you know, rich, poor, this, that, they're, you know, angels and saints or murderers, totally uninteresting to me. Are you doing the work now to build your life? That is the only thing I'm concerned with. The rest of it is, who cares? Does anyone else have a question? I mean, I just have one thing to say that is kind of important to me. This meditation I do, I do 7 classes a week. And like today, there's probably going to be somewhere 50 to 60 people coming to meditation. And it's very difficult to do. And one of the things that inspires me is the fact that people make a conscious effort to come to class. I see them because then what I teach can really work. And if people stop coming, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't do it immediately. I'll take their name off the mailing list. It's not that I don't want them, it's that they're telling me they don't want to be here and there's nothing I can do to help them in their spiritual life. And I don't have any need to have more students. I mean, I've had 20, 30,000 students in my life. So I want people that really make the effort, that make a commitment, come and do it. And the ones that don't come, I wait a week, no more, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I will take their names off the list. And if they really want to come back, they're welcome. But I will tell them, look, you've got to make a commitment because I cannot teach you what I have learned if you show up here once every 3 weeks, once every 2 weeks. Or a lot of people don't even open the emails that I send because, I go to MailChimp, and I can, before I take some, I check and you see, they don't even open the email, which tells me they're not interested. Now, this is very important because the commitment makes this work. It also inspires me to do it, to truly make the effort to hold these classes, because 7 of these classes a week is not easy, especially on Thursdays and Sundays where I have 2 of these classes. Tonight, there's going to be 30 to 40 people in class, So I'm just asking you that. And if anyone ever asks you, tell them that, you know, not that I don't want people in class, I just need a commitment because that inspires me to do this work. And this is not easy work to do, to hold this many classes every week. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, there'll be a class on Tuesday, and thank you and bless you all. And it's a joy to do this for me. I'm not complaining. I love this. And I love to see people changing in front of me. And I'm very blessed to be able to do this with my life. And I always like to thank you for being here and for being part of this. So God bless you all. I will see everybody on Tuesday.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.